योगः कर्मसु कौशलम्।
Namaskar. Welcome to the series on e-content. Friends, I'm very happy to share that I'm getting a lot of responses from you, lot of comments from you, and lot of motivating emails from you. This is really very much motivating to me and my whole team. I'm very much thankful to all the participants who are really so active. Friends, we are coming today with a new point and new topic. But before we go to that, I would like to remind you what you have learned and what we have discussed. We have discussed several points like e-content creation, MOOCs. So we have discussed what MOOCs is, what is e-content, how to create e-content, and then we have discussed several aspects like which are the tools of e-content creation. There are several online tools which we can use. They are very handy tools, very simple tools with which we can create very impressive and effective e-content. After that, we have discussed where to upload this. And we have discussed that we can upload it on different websites, we can upload it on different social media platforms, and there are various ways where we can upload it. There are various places where we can upload it. And these places are day by day increasing. These tools are day by day increasing. The tools which are discussed, the space or the places which are discussed, they are just some of the examples. You can call them few of the examples. I would call it a tip of the iceberg. There are plenty of such things which you can explore yourself. As I repeatedly tell you in this series, that the best way to learn ICT tools, the best way to learn tools of e-content creation, or the best way to create e-content is doing it. That means learning by doing. If you'll do it, you will learn it. So you need to go for a lot of practice. Now the time came for final discussion. Friends, after this all is done, what is our goal? What is our end goal? What is our destination? Why we are learning this e-content? And the goal is to reach the students online. And to reach the students, the best thing is you can develop your own course. Say, for example, you are teaching English compulsory, or you are teaching physics, or you are teaching mathematics, or you are teaching social sciences, you are teaching history, whatever subject you are teaching. Just think that you can develop a course for that paper. You can call it a paper or a course, whatever you call it. You can develop one classroom for that. And you can upload all the material, all the e-content which you have prepared. The e-content may be, as we have discussed in the very first session, that there are different kinds of e-content. You can develop e-text and you can upload that. You can develop video and you can upload that. You can develop assignments, you can upload that. This all integration is possible. Just imagine, friend, that when this lockdown will reopen, or when next time you would like to go for any online or digital course, you will have one platform and you will have skills to develop it. Just by attending to this session, just be with us for about 1.5 to 2 hours, you will learn how to develop your own program, how to develop your own course, and you will be able to launch it. And for that, the platform which we are using today is Google Classroom. Google Classroom is one such LMS, one such learning management system through which you can enroll about 250 students. If you have a Google Suite connection, that means access to Google Suite, G Suite, you can enroll about 1,000 students just in one class. And then you can create multiple classes also. There is no bar on creation of multiple classes. So you can create class, you can enroll students and whatnot. There are miraculous things which you can do using simple tool like Google Classroom. It is a very collaborative tool. You can collaborate your Google Drive, you can collaborate with Google Forms and whatnot. Let us try to understand what this Google Classroom is from one of the renowned experts in this e-content development. And this expert is a dear friend and a professor who has been teaching in Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University, a researcher and academician who believes in enhancement, upgradation, and innovation. He is none other than but Professor Dr. Nilesh K. Modi. Professor Modi is having a rich experience of about 17 years in academics and IT industry. Presently, he is working as a professor and director of School of Computer Science, Controller of Examination, and NEC Coordinator at Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University, Ahmedabad. He is holding a doctorate degree in e-security. He is holding expertise in cyber security and certification on ethical hacking. So, sir, dear friends, here is a friend who is ethical hacker, a person who is very good in cyber security, and who has expertise in various related fields. He has been awarded with prestigious Career Award for Young Teachers, CAYT, for the financial year 2013-14 by AICTE New Delhi. And the award was in the form of money, that is 9 lakh rupees for research. And he has worked on modeling a framework for efficient and secured use of network resources for an organization in recent cyber age. So he has worked on an organization security in the modern age. That is for what he was awarded this money and grant to be utilized. He has been awarded several such awards. If I would like to name another one, he was awarded to develop or to research on smarten up the computing facility with advanced teaching learning aids. And this kind of awards make him really so efficient and excellent in the field. He has worked as a recognized supervisor for PhD and MPhil at various universities. He has produced several MPhil and PhD students as well. He has been widely published in various journals of national and international repute. There are several things which I can describe about him, and there is no need to say that he has attended many conferences and seminars at international and national level. About 75 research papers are at his credit. He is also serving as a member of Board of Studies and Selection Committees in Gujarat Technological University, Bhavnagar University, along with different universities in the country. So we are fortunate to have such a resource person with us. I would like to invite Professor Nilesh Modi on the floor to have discussion on Google Classroom. Welcome, Professor Nilesh Modi.
Thank you, Professor Joshi, and thanks for inviting me for this session on Google Classroom. So friends, let's start with the Google Classroom. Thank you, Dr. Joshi. Thanks for inviting me for this session. So friends, today we are going to discuss about Google Classroom. It is a part of G Suite for Education, that is Google Suite for Education. So let's start with our presentation. Friends, in the Google Classroom, what exactly we are going to discuss is, we will be discussing various tools for education by Google. So you are probably already familiar with Google search, but did you know that Google offers many other tools that are useful in the classroom? So G Suite for Education is a suite for tools that can help you increase opportunities for critical thinking, communication, collaboration, and creativity, all while supporting the learning objectives that have for your students. So these tools are free, ad-free, reliable, and secure, and they are already used by millions of students in schools around the world. So of course, free is great, but the best thing is that these tools are relevant to the students, easy to use, and open doors to many new ways to learn. So let's discuss what exactly, which tools Google for Education, G Suite for Education is being offered. So the first tool is Google Classroom. So this Google Classroom tool we'll discuss in detail, but let's discuss about what exactly Google Classroom is and how exactly it is important to all of us. So Google Classroom is a collaboration tool for teachers and students that helps organize and streamline the classroom experience. With just a few clicks, you can create a class, add your students, and create assignments or announcements. So you will be able to see who has completed an assignments, who is still working on it, and assign grades when it's finished. Also, you can instantly offer feedbacks to the students and see their questions or comments on their assignments. So the another tool Google for Education or G Suite for Education is, that is Google Drive. So basically Google Drive is used for any particular purpose. It's just like a hard disk on our computer. So Google Drive is like an online hard drive where you can store all your files, stories, designs, drawings, recordings, video, and anything, whatever you want, whatever you wish, whatever you want to do, that can be done through Google Drive. So you can store any kind of data, whatever you wish. So as a part of G Suite for Education, Drive has unlimited storage. So you and your students don't have to worry about full disk, deleting old files, or losing anything when a computer crashes. So you can access your files from any device, and best of all, you never have to save Drive automatically. So Drive automatically saves every time whenever you make any edit. So friends, one of the important feature is that once you just type in, or once you just store any particular data onto your Google Drive, so you need not to worry about saving or confirming the whether it has been saved or not. You just have to click that drive. So whatever things have been available, or whatever things have been stored onto Google Drive, it will be available in future reference. And one of the most important another feature is that you can download any of your document from your mobile, from your tablet, from your laptop, or from your any other device. Okay, so it is a kind of storage where your Google for Education, G Suite for Education has been configured, so you can use all your things from all the devices. So these are the one of the most important features of Google. So exactly, Google has integrated all its tools by single user ID, that is your email ID. Okay, so you can configure your email, you can configure your drive, you can configure your classroom, you can configure your Google Meet, or anything. Means you can even upload your videos, and you can create your channel, you can have your YouTube channel, and all these things are easily configurable by single drive, single ID, that we can say. Let's discuss some other tools for G Suite for Education. So we have Google Docs. So Google Doc is just nothing but an ordinary word processing software wherein you can create your document. So all the documents come to life with smart editing, styling tools to help you easily format text and paragraph. Choose from thousands of fonts, add links, images, drawings, and tables. Okay, so it does all the things whatever you do with the use of any other word processing software. The another tool is Google Sheets. So Google Sheets is a kind of another means a spreadsheet. So basically spreadsheet is being used for analyzing, visualizing, and charting the data. So you can create your own Google Sheet online, and you can access that sheet any time from any of the devices, whatever you wish. So that is one of the most important things. Then Google Forms. So Google Form is a kind of input device, or input soft or input form wherein you can collect, or you can gather the information from the users. So that is a kind of quick and easy survey to gather the information whenever you want to make any presentation. So Google Slides are one of the most important tool, wherein by creating online presentation, you can make it easy to tell stories, or you can make any kind of presentation with the use of Google Slides. Then one of the most important tool that has been covered under Google Tools for Education is Google Drawings. Sometimes we need to prepare some sort of graphics, some sort of charts, some sort of flow charts, and we need to create some shapes, text, and images. Okay, so all these things are easily configurable, and you can create any of your drawings, whatever you wish, and that can be connected in any of the Google tool. So these are some of the tools that we are using for G Suite for Education. Then additional to these tools, whatever we have discussed, we have some additional tools for G Suite for Education that we people are using. So that is Gmail. So Gmail is a email account, okay, wherein we can have some sort of email, we can send some email, we can configure or we can record our contacts, we can maintain our task and communication, we can manage our to-do list and all. Okay, so just like Gmail, it is the same Gmail facility we can use from our organization perspective. Okay, so this is kind of Gmail account that we are using, but one of the best most important feature and most important thing that we can say that whenever we are configuring Gmail account, so we have restriction of using only 15 GB data, whereas if we are using G Suite for Education or G Suite, so we can have unlimited storage on data on Google Cloud. Okay, so that is one of the most important thing. Then the other thing is Google Calendar. So with the use of Google Calendar, we can schedule anything. We can schedule our meeting. We can schedule calendars and appointments and all. Okay, so these are one of the most important thing that we can do. Other thing is Google Meet. Google Meet is something like a live video conferencing and messaging. Suppose whenever we need to do some sort of live video conferencing and messaging, so at that particular time we can create or we can have some meeting with our colleagues or with our students, and we can conduct some sort of class or conferencing. And with the use of Google video conferencing, we can have communication of large gathering as well as some sort of limited gathering. Then Google site. So Google site is a kind of, suppose whenever we wish to create our own site that is of multiple pages. Okay, so we can upload our profile, we can upload whatever we are doing. So just like any other website, with the use of Google sites, we can create some sort of websites, and we can have some sort of web page creation and publishing tool. Then the other tool is Google Groups. Google Group is just nothing but a very kind of group, just kind of a messenger group. Okay, so here we can create a group, and with that particular group, we can broadcast the communication to our web forums, to our colleagues and all. Okay, so that is one of the most important tool that we are using, and that is one of the most important helpful feature of Google G Suite for Education. So tools outside of G Suite for Education, there are some other tools. They are not part of G Suite for Education, but one of the what but they are very much important, and we can include all those tools with the this various tools of Google G Suite for Education. One of the tool is Google Chrome, that is an internet browser through which we can connect to the internet. The another tool is YouTube. YouTube is just nothing but a video channel or a video platform, online video hosting and sharing platform, wherein one can create their own channel. Okay, and they can upload their lectures, their whatever performance or whatever live scenario. They can even do live streaming, and they can connect to their followers and their subscribers. Then another tool is Google Map. So whenever we want to travel somewhere, so at that particular time, suppose we are not knowing about the location of that particular area, so at that particular time, we can use Google Maps or Google Earth. Earlier it was known as Google Earth. So it is just nothing but an interactive maps and satellite imagery. So that is one of the most important thing that we can do. Then even suppose we have a habit of writing some sort of stories, and if we want to publish all those stories in the form of blogs, so we can use Google Blogs or bloggers. So this tool is basically used for publishing blogs, and we can have some sort of blogging things, so we can enjoy those things. Then selecting the right tool. So after discussing various tools, we will be definitely having some sort of confusion which tool is best and how to select those tools. Okay, so there are two factors to consider when choosing the technology for the classroom. First thing, your learning goals, and second thing, your basic understanding of what each Google tool can do. So friends, uh, why exactly we are learning? So we are not learning any of the tool for our understanding purpose. No, we want to explore what exactly we are doing to or amongst our friends or amongst our followers or amongst our students. Okay, so let's say we have some sort of goals, or we have we want to use this tool for our office purpose, for our educational or academic career purpose. So that is our goal. So this learning of any particular tool is not our goal. We need to explore the things amongst our uh, followers. So that is one of the most important thing. And the second thing is your basic understanding of what each Google tool can do. So we need to know what exactly each and every Google tool can do, and how exactly we can use those particular tool for that particular purpose. So that is our objective, that is our means how exactly that will be used, or that will be helpful for our means day to day life. So your learning goal will be rarely be learn how to use the technology. It is not learn how to use the technology, but it is most likely to be something like how and where to implement the technology. Okay, and the second factor for choosing the right technology is that you need a good grasp of basic things particular tools can do. So what exactly that particular tool can do, that is one of the most important thing that we need to do, or that we need to have. So once you have these two things, the learning goal and the basic knowledge, you can choose the right tool for the right purpose or right task. Okay, so let's discuss, or let's start with the Google Classroom. So friends, uh, we have Google for Education. So a specific video channel is already available for Google for Education, and there are plenty of video tutorial available on that particular platform. So let's discuss. So friends, here we have this YouTube for Education, Google for Education. Okay, and that so all these video tutorials are available on youtube.com/user slash education at Google, or edu at Google. Okay, so here you may see there are plenty of things available. So here we have edu in 90. So the latest video uploaded on May 2020. So we have some sort of tutorials that are helpful for distance learning tutorial. So video calling, how to do video call, how to do some sort of collaboration, how to do scheduling, how to do assignments and productivity, and plenty of other videos are available. Then we have Google for Education deployment series. So how exactly we can deploy Google for Education? So how to register the domain, how to verify the domain, what exactly the organizational units and creating the users. So they are the most important thing. And one of the most important thing is that is this video are of only 4 to 5 minutes. Okay, so these are most user friendly way that Google has created some sort of video tutorial, and we can go through it all this means various species of videos, and that explain us how exactly we can use various Google features for our referential purpose. So friends, we have Google Classroom tutorial, and I wanted to explain this particular feature or this particular tutorial, so you can go through it and you can use this tutorial once this class will get over. Okay, so the basic understanding that I'll give it to you, I'll discuss it with you, but for detailed understanding, you can use this Google Classroom tutorial. So I'm just demonstrating some of the videos. So getting started with the Google Classroom. So here it explains. So friends, this how to create class and how to configure the class. So all these things we'll discuss in our lecture. But I wanted to demonstrate we have various tutorials are available, so we can use these tutorials wherever we want. Okay, so let's discuss our presentation. So friends, we were discussing about Google for Education, and we discussed about Google Classroom video tutorials. So that we have already discussed. Now, uh, how to start the Google Classroom. So we can go to Google Classroom by various means. Okay. So one of the most important way to open the Google Classroom is by logging on to www.googleclassroom.google.com. Sorry, www.classroom.google.com. Okay, so here by tapping it into our browser, so you can see here we have typed in classroom.google.com. Okay, and it has already started the things. So that is one of the most important thing. Let's say this is classroom.google.com. Okay, so by tapping at this address, we can directly go to Google Classroom. Another way is we can start the classroom. Okay, because once we have configured the class or once we have started using the class, so that uh, icon will appear over here, up here in this app menu. So we have various Google apps. So by clicking on it, we can start Google Classroom. Okay, so this is the icon for Google Classroom. So we can just start that classroom and we can use it. Okay, so friends, here I would like to demonstrate one class. So I have created various class. One class is for PGD-Med 103 Android. One class that has been created for Android mobile application development. One is mobile application, mobile operating system, and another one is Master of Science Information Technology. So let's discuss this class. So this is the first view of Google Classroom. Okay, so here this is the name of the class, means which subject we want to teach. Then we have four different menus. Stream is just kind of announcement. Okay, so whatever announcement we are making or whatever we new or something some new thing we are uploading it onto our classroom, so that will appear under stream. So there are number of things that we have uploaded. So Dr. Nilesh Modi posted a new material, introduction to Android. Dr. Nilesh Modi posted a new question, write a short note on Android platform. Dr. Nilesh Modi posted a new assignment, the Android platform. So whatever things I'll make available for the students, so that will appear over here. Then there are various other things that comes under classwork. So we can create some sort of assignments, quiz assignments, questions, materials. We can reuse the post and all. Okay, then we can add our co-teacher. Suppose this particular subject is being taught by some other teacher. I might be sharing this subject with other fellow colleague. Okay, so we can add him. We can add them. Then we can add some students. Okay, and we can later on we can mark their performance. Okay, we can grade them. So based on that, suppose we have missed some sort of grading, so they are shown over here. So other thing we can have some settings of this class. Okay, through this particular settings option, and we can have all these features. So let's discuss with this class. Okay, so we were discussing about this class. So we have this title of this class. Okay, Android mobile application development. Then this one of the most important thing, one of the most important feature. Suppose you'd like to invite some of your colleague or some of your student, okay, to this particular class, so you can share this code with them. Okay, so this is the unique code for all your students. So by using this code, they can join your class. Then you can create a Google Meet link. Okay, suppose you want to make meet all the students virtually on a virtual conference platform, on a video conference platform. Okay, so Google has embedded this Google Meet platform with Google Classroom, and they allow you to create some sort of Google Meet link. Okay, so here we have discussed some of the streams and other things available. Okay, so these are the some of the most important things. So now let's discuss how exactly we can create class, and how what sort of features we can make available for our students. Okay, so the other thing is, before discussing how to create classroom, let's discuss some other points. So here we have some of the classes. We can have some sort of calendar. So one of the most important thing is Google Calendar feature is also configured here, uh, because means whenever we want to assign some sort of deadline to our students for submitting the assignment, for appearing for the quiz, and for evaluating the assignments. Okay, so here by using the calendar, we can have all these things. So what exactly we have configured, so all these things will be available over here. Then to-do list for the faculties. So what exactly we need to do is, so we have classes, so all these classes. Okay, so we have no due date. So what exactly due date, what exactly work in progress, or what exactly the things we have given, okay, to our students. So we have Android platform, and the due date is May 23. So there are some sort of what exactly, what task or activities we need to perform. So they are discussed over here. So we can do that by using to-do list. So here we have different class that we have created. We have some sort of archived class. Suppose we have created some class, but we don't need those class for any further process. So what exactly we can do is, we can archive all this class. Okay, and we can means later on, if we require, then we can restore it, otherwise we can delete it. So this is one of the most important thing. And the other thing is setting. So we can have some sort of settings for the notifications. We can change our profile picture. We can make some sort of notification on email, comments, who can comment and who cannot, classes you teach, and class notifications. So these are some of the most important features and most important thing that Google Classroom provides us. Okay, so friends, we have various materials ready with us. So let's start with the Google Classroom. Later on, after completing this hands-on workshop, we'll discuss what are the important tips for Google Classroom. Okay, so friends, let's start with the hands-on training of Google Classroom. Okay, so from where we can start? So friend, this is the plus sign. Okay, and we can start with this plus sign. So we you can see here, it is for the creating or joining a class. So here we are creating a class. We are not a student, so we are not joining this class. So we are configuring this class. So later on, this class can be used for our teaching purpose. So what exactly we need to do is, we are creating a class. So here we are creating the class. So I have some sort of material ready with me. So I want to create a class for Android mobile application development. Okay, so what exactly I'll do is, and here I have various blocks, various means units, and under that unit we have various chapters. Okay, so we have 4 units, or we can say blocks, and we have 4 chapters. For in each we have various chapters, or we can say unit. Okay, so this is just nothing but uh, change in some sort of basic terminology, okay, in the conventional education and open and distance learning education. So let's start with this Android mobile application development. Okay, so we have this classroom, okay, and we have given the name for this classroom PG101, sorry, which number it is, okay, 103, okay, uh, Android mobile application development. Okay, suppose we are using this class for different sections, so we can give over here section A, B, C, D, or whatever. Then this subject, this paper is being taught in which subject? Let's say okay, we are teaching this subject into, we are not teaching it into public speaking, dance, culture, French club, and all. So we are teaching it for computer science. Okay, so this subject belongs to computer science. So, and which room we will be teaching this? So basically it is not required right now. So whenever it required, you can start with that. So two most important things that we have covered is our paper name and which subject it belongs to. So we are just creating the class. So friends, here we have a skeleton, or we have a basic structure of that class. Okay, so it has created one class 10 through Android mobile application development. The same name is available over here. We have four menus. Okay, so here, if you don't like this theme, so you can change that particular theme with the use of the select theme or upload photo. Upload, you can upload your own photo. So let's check what sort of themes available for us. So here we have various themes available. So whatever theme you like, you can use it. Okay, so we have some sort of English and history, we have some sort of mathematics and science, so we have arts, we have sports, we have some other themes. Okay, but whatever theme has been given to us, that is quite interesting. Okay, so we can use it, we can continue with that. So Google Classroom has given this class a unique code, okay, and this unique code is this. Okay, so it has no meaning for that particular. We don't have any special meaning of that particular class, but this is a unique code, and we can assign or we can share this unique code with our students. Okay, so they can join in. They can join in into our class. Okay, so uh, it is just a separate or a unique code, and it is unique to all your class. So here we can see this is YYJQWUG, and for another class, let's say here we have totally different code. Okay, so it has means no relevance, it has only relevance, it is unique code for that particular class. Then whether you want to generate a meet link or not, suppose whenever we want to configure Google Meet, so at that particular time even we can do that. But whenever we are configuring a class, if we configure all these things and it is available to the students, so whenever we'll give some sort of schedule, or we can schedule the Google Meet, okay, or a virtual class, so at that particular time we can invite anybody. Okay, so let's generate the Meet link. So what exactly we need to do is we have to just click on it. Okay, so here they are giving the details. So add Meet to your class. So with the Meet video meetings, you can connect with students for distance learning. You can manage the Meet in your class settings. So we are generating the Meet link for the class. So we are clicking it. So it has generated a unique link. Okay, and now we can save it. Okay, whether it is we want to make it visible for the students. If we want to make it visible, then we can do that. Otherwise we can give it to the students whenever we will invite them for the meeting. So if we will not make it enable, okay, so that link will not be visible to the student. So here the link will not be visible to the student. Suppose, but we want to make it visible to the students. Okay, so we can make it visible whenever we want. So here it has started the Google Meet. Okay, so suppose I want to make this link visible. So here we can go into settings. Okay, and here we can do that visible to the student. So here we are making it visible. So here now this link is visible to the students. Okay, earlier that I was crossed, but here we have some sort of camera, so that is visible. Okay, now here we don't have any other communication way for our class. So all this communication, whatever things we will configure, so that will available over here in the form of stream. Okay, so we don't have any stream or we don't have anything right now, so it is not available for us. Now let's start with the configuring our class. So friends, whenever we are configuring our class, so we have this button. So here by creating, so we can create assignment, we can create quiz assignment, we can create questions, we can create material, we can reuse those posts, we can assign whatever things we have created for a specific topic. So here you can see, so this is our book, this is our paper, and suppose we are creating some sort of material assignment for this particular chapter, so that will come under this topic, that is for block number 1. So we can categorize it and we can use it for the later purpose. So it is just nothing but organizing the thing into a proper manner. Then so here we can directly start some sort of meeting. From here we can configure some sort of calendar, and we can use a special drive for this particular class. So once we'll click on it, a special drive for this particular classroom will be created into our drive. I have created my class under this particular email ID, okay, with this G Suite for Education account. Okay, so under that I have one drive. Okay, and in that particular drive we have classroom. So under that classroom they have created various folders. So this is my folder, okay, for which I have configured this class. Okay, so all my data related to this particular class will be stored over here, or will appear over here. Okay, here whatever shared document available for me, they'll be appear over here. Then most recent document, so whatever documents I have used, so they'll be appear over here. Then some of the important documents, some of the documents or some of the data that has been shared with me, they'll be appear over here. Suppose I have starred some of the documents, some as important documents, so they'll appear over here. And let's say I have marked some sort of priority, so they'll appear over here. But here we are discussing my drive, then classroom, then 103 Android mobile application development. Okay, so friends, here all the data will be available. So then Google Calendar. So Google Calendar is a kind of tool. So here, let's say I have configured number of things for my class. Okay, so whatever things I have configured, so all those things will be available over here. So here we are at on 25th of May, and it is somewhere around 8:45, 8:40. Okay, so we are right now at this particular place. Now suppose we have configured, or we have scheduled some sort of meeting on 26th, so it will appear over here, and based on the time and other things, what exactly we have configured. Okay, so these are the another tool, that is calendar, and that is available. So all the Google tools, like this drive, like this calendar, this Google Meet, they are they are configured with each other, and they are available for everybody. Okay, so we can use it for any particular reference. So this is Google Meet. Okay, so that is another tool. So it will start meet.google.com. Okay, so now presently the camera is off because we are using this camera for this classroom purpose. Okay, so by using this microphone and all, we can start the meeting and we can discuss with our students. Okay, whenever we wish. Okay, so let's close it right now. So we are closing the Google Meet, we are closing the calendar, we are closing the drive. So let's start by configuring a class. Okay, so we have created a class for this particular paper. Now what exactly we need to do is, now first thing, we would like to upload the material. Okay, so let's start with the uploading the material. But what exactly we'll do? Suppose we want to upload a material for this particular unit. So before that, we need to create this topic. Otherwise, what will happen? Once we'll upload some sort of material for this particular, and after that we'll create a topic, so it will be meaningless because we'll have to make some changes, and then after we'll have to assign this particular topic under this particular title. Okay, so let's start by creating topic. So let's copy this content. Okay, so here we are not uploading a material right now. Let's create topic. So here we have topic, so add the topic. Introduction to Android. We have created this. Then the another one, this one, Android application development basics. So this is another topic. We have added it. We have Android application design essentials. So we have added this topic here. And we have finally the last topic, Android user interface design. So we have created this topic over here. Great. So we have created 4 topics. So friends, whatever topic we'll create, it will not have any chronology, but it will order all these things in an alphabetical order. Okay, so suppose we want to reorganize those things in an order. Okay, so let's say this introduction one is first, then basic second, essential third, and design fourth. Okay, so we can rearrange all those things. So basic second, so let's move up. So we can move it up. Then design set third, sorry, design fourth. So we can move it down. So we have basic, essential, design, and finally we can move it up. So here we can move it up. Here we can move it up. So finally we have introduction to Android tools and basics, development basics, essential, and design. So here we have introduction to Android, Android basic development, Android application design essentials, and design. Okay, so we have created 4 topics. Now let's start creating some other things like assignment, quiz assignment, questions, material, and all. So let's create some sort of material. Okay, so we want to create a material for this particular chapter, like let's say installing Android Studio. Okay, so we have copied that content. Then we'll start configuring it. So we have given the name that installing Android Studio. Now whatever description we want to write, so we can give it over here. This gives details about installing Android Studio. Okay, so we have added some sort of configuration. Now we can add some things. Okay, so we have various features. So we can add some documents from our Google Drive. We can add some documents from some of the other websites. We can add some documents from our own computer, and we can add some documents from our YouTube channel. So let's start by uploading some documents available on my computer. So we have some sort of material available on block 1. So let's start. So this is for block 1. Okay. So what exactly I need to do is select file from your device. So we have some sort of material, PGD 103, and we have this block 1. Okay, so here we can upload this block 1. So just upload it. So friends, we have this document available with us. So now we can publish it for our students. Now we have some documents on our Google Drive. Okay, so whatever we have on our Google Drive, okay, so we can upload that document. So we can upload from my drive. So whatever document we want to upload, we can upload. So let's upload this document. This is just nothing but a simple explanatory document, but we are considering it as our document for that particular topic available on our drive. So we are just see here we have uploaded the things from our computer. Here we have document uploaded from our Google Drive. We can also upload the document from your website. So here we have shared drive, we have start, okay, insert files using Google Drive, okay. So from whatever way you want to upload some sort of files, so you can use those particular files, okay. So we can directly drag the files, we can directly use the file available in your drive. So we have some sort of shared drives, okay. So some sort of document available on my website. So dear Nilesh Modi in. Okay, so I've just given that particular thing over here. So is there any file available? So there is no file available on that particular drive. So let's, okay, link, okay, link. So we have to give a link, okay. So dear Nilesh Modi.in. Okay, so I'm creating a link, so some sort of material available on my website. So student can attend that particular, visit that website, and they can download those some sort of material available on my website. So here I've given the link. Okay, so I've not given a specific link. So I've given some sort of generic link. So it will go and check the things, and it will make available to the students. Okay. So we have uploaded a document available from our computer, from our drive, and from our website. Okay. Now the fourth one is YouTube. Yeah. So here, friends, I have my YouTube channel. Let's say my YouTube channel name is youtube.com/c belongs to channel, and the name of that channel is Dr. Nilesh Modi. So we have plenty of things available on my channel. So let's say I want to give a reference of this particular channel or this particular video. Okay, this is just an explanatory video. So here we have this share button. Okay, so we can click on that share, and okay, so we have copied that link. Okay, so we can use this thing. So I'm just closing this channel right now, and we can use this YouTube, or we can use this URL. Okay, so I have the link, so I can directly give that particular link over here. So it has fetched my YouTube channel and found that video. So now I want to add this video into this particular classroom. So friends, we have four things. We have four things, that is Google Drive, link, file, YouTube. So I've uploaded some sort of document from my computer. I've uploaded some documents available from this Google Drive. I've uploaded or I've given some sort of link from my website. And finally, I've uploaded some sort of videos or made available to the students from my YouTube channel. So friends, these are the four important features through which we can provide the documents, we can upload the documents, okay, so that we have provided. So the other thing is we have various, suppose we don't have documents ready with us, so we can create those documents from various other Google tools available. So let's start by creating some sort of documents. Okay, so we can create Google Docs, we can create slides, we can create sheets, we can create some sort of drawings, we can create forms. So I'll just give you some example of docs, slides, sheets, and all. Okay, so I've just created one sheet. Okay, so I'm just allowing the pop-up. Now it will start. Okay, so what exactly I need to do is I'm just using this title, I'm just copying this title to create this document. Okay, so it is untitled document, so I'm just giving a name. Okay, see friends, I have not shared this document, I have not saved this document, even though all these things will be saved on Google Drive. So I'm just using this word installing Android Studio, and I'm just making some sort of, I'm just copying some sort of thing. Okay, so this is installing Android Studio, that chapter. Okay, I'm just copying this thing to make it available on that particular document, so that I should not type all these things. So I have copied some of the things over here. Okay, and now I'm just closing this document. So that document is available. Recently, it has not given any name, but once I'll go out of this document, okay, so it will save that document and the name will appear over here. Now, let's create some sort of slides. Suppose I've created some sort of presentation and I want to make it available to the students. Okay, so that is easily available. So again, installing Android Studio, I'm just giving that name to this presentation. Okay, and I'm writing some sort of title thing. Okay, so this title thing, installing Android Studio, and we need to add some sort of subtitle. Let's say this presentation has been prepared by me, so I'm just giving this title, that Professor Dr. Nilesh Modi, okay, from BAOU. Okay, so I've created some sample slide, okay, just for the reference purpose. Okay, so I'm just closing this. So now that particular slide will also available over here. Okay, again, that name has not appeared over here, but it will appear once I'll just refresh this particular document, okay, and make it available for my students. Then I'm just creating one sheet. So it is a Google Sheet. Here I'm creating this sheet. Okay, so I'm just giving the name, again the same name. Okay, and I'm writing something, Android Studio, let's say key student. Here I'm writing serial number, just I'm giving just an information. Okay, name of name of Android operating system. Okay, so the name of version name, version number, and year of publication. Okay, so friends, here I want to add some data, okay, and I want to make it available for the student. So I have created one Google Sheet. Okay. So again, I am not saving this document. I am just closing this document, and later on, this will provide some proper name. Okay. So now the next thing is, for which particular topic, or for which particular, whether I want to add all this material for number of other papers or for the single paper. No, I want to add this for the same, because I'm teaching the same subject in other class. So I want to make it available for other class. So I can do that. Okay. So that has been saved. Okay, fine. Now for students, so presently I have not added any student. Okay, so it has given all the students. Okay, then I have created the topic. So this particular chapter comes under introduction to Android tools and basics. So I'm just selecting these things. Now friends, here we have various options. So whether I want to post this thing right away, or I want to schedule. So I can schedule, I can save the draft for referential purpose, and I can discard the draft. Okay, schedule presently it will be available once I'll add some sort of students. Okay, so then after, otherwise I can save as a draft. But presently I'm not saving as a draft. I'm just posting it. Okay, so whosoever student I'll add into this particular class, so it will be available to those all the students. So friends, here you can see I have uploaded some sort of material on the name of installing Android Studio topic under this particular block. Okay, so just go and check what sort of things have been uploaded on this particular material section. So friends, here you can see this document I've uploaded from my computer. This document I've uploaded from my shared drive. This document I've uploaded some sort of my from my website by giving some sort of link. Then here I've uploaded this video tutorial for the students from YouTube channel. Then here you can see I have given this name while creating this document, but when I didn't save that particular document, even though it is appearing. Okay, so that is one of the beauty of Google, that whatever you write, that will be saved automatically. Okay, so here here uh, so I'm just closing this material section. Now start by creating some sort of assignments. So same way here, I can create some sort of assignments. I'm just going up on the index section. Okay, so I'm just creating an assignment for this particular topic. Okay, the title I've given, then instruction. I don't want to give any instruction right now, but I want to upload some sort of document available on my computer. So I'll just go and I'll just upload some sort of. So friends, here I have easily made assignments, and this is for 103. So I'm just uploading a document right now. So here the document is available right now here. Then again, for this particular class, okay, it is for this class only. For all the students, yeah, presently I have not added any students, so it will be for all the students whosoever I'll add. Then whether this particular class or whether this particular assignment, so whether we want to give some sort of points. Okay, so for each chapter, let's say I want to give 20 points. Okay, so here I've given the 20 points. Then whether I want to give some sort of due dates or not. So yes, I want to give some sort of due dates. So I want to give a due date to let's say 28 or next Saturday. Okay, fine. So 30th. So I'm just giving the due date 30th of May. Then whether this particular assignment belongs to particular topic, yes. So it is a subtopic of this introduction to Android tools and basics. Then is one of the most important feature, rubric. Let's say whether I want to create some sort of rubric, or whether I want to create or reuse some sort of rubric or import some sheets. Okay, So whenever submit this assignment and publish this assignment for the students, okay, and in future, let's say I'll add some sort of things. Let's say I'll evaluate the assignment for a specific student, and I'll return it to the students. So all these features and all these things will be available to the students. But right now I'm not creating any rubric. One of the most important feature is that for each and every class, Google Classroom allow us to check whether this document has been created by checking all the flag checks and all. Okay, so suppose I've created this document at my own, so I don't want any flag check. Otherwise, I can make some sort of plot check. Okay, so I can use this option. So it is for the originality reports. Then the next thing is, so I can directly straight away assign this document to the students. Then after, I can schedule. So let's say whenever class goes, okay, so at that particular time I want to assign this document to the student, so I can use that even. Then I can use this document for the future reference, or I can discard. So right away I'm just assigning this document to the student. So it is being assigned. So friends, here you can see, first I've uploaded some material. Now I've uploaded some sort of assignments, and the due date for that particular assignment is, here you can see, okay, due date is May 13th. So just I've just done something that I can rearrange by dragging it up and dragging it down. Okay, now let's create a quiz assignment. Okay, so again I'm creating a quiz assignment for this particular topic. So I'm just giving the title, I'm just giving some sort of brief quiz assignment for installing Android Studio. Okay, so here we have one another feature. So along with all these features, whatever features available, along with all those features, we can create some sort of quiz by using Google Quiz platform. Again, that is by using some sort of forms. Okay, so I'm just creating a Google Quiz right now. So I'm just giving the name, installing Android Studio. Okay, so here I can give name over here, or that particular portion. So here I'm using it over here, installing Android. Okay, then I can give some sort of questions. Okay, so this is question. Okay, untitled question. So I'm just giving some sort of question, introduction to or some sort of installing Android Studio. Okay, so we can give some sort of multiple choice questions. So installing Android Studio is, I can installing Android Studio important, or it is necessary to install an Android Studio, install an Android Studio before designing any app, any mobile application. So I'm just giving some sort of questions. Okay, so it is true or false, or it is yes or no. Okay, so we have option yes, no, or maybe. So I can create this question. Okay, so it is multiple choice question. So I've created this question. Okay, I don't want to add another thing. So this will be available to the students. Okay, so I've created this one, and now it will be available for the students. So this is blank quiz. So presently it is blank quiz, but once I'll move from this particular section, it will automatically get refreshed and it will be available to the students. So here it will be for 103 Android. Okay, it is again for all the students. Then what are the points? So let's say I'm just giving 10 points. Okay, so whether we have some sort of due dates. Okay, so I'm just giving 30th of May. Then whether this particular quiz assignment belongs to any topic, yes, it belongs to Android tools and things. So same way we have rubrics and we can do some sort of original reports and all, and we can assign schedule, save draft, and discard. So I'm just assigning it to the student. Okay, so friends, here I have this question. Okay, so this is question installing Android Studio. Okay, so I've created material, I've uploaded some sort of assignments. Now this is the quiz assignment. Again, I've given it for, I can again, I can edit it and I can reschedule that due date. Let's say, so students should at least appear this particular thing within 2 days. So I'm just giving 2 days. Okay, I'm just again saving it, and these changes will be available over here for the students. Okay, so now let's create this question, this quiz. So this is quiz assignment, and this is kind of question or this kind of quiz that we want to give students in a quarterly manner or in a surprise quiz kind of thing. So I can create some sort of quiz questions. Okay, so here let's create some sort of question. Write a short note on installing an Android Studio. Okay, so I've just given this short note. Okay, so it is a short answer, or we can have some sort of multiple answer or whatever. Or suppose we can add something, we can add some referential documents, or we can create some documents. And again, this is for 103 Android, and this is for all the students. So I'm just giving some sort of, let's say, 10 points for this question. Okay, so we have some sort of due date. Yes, we have 29. And this particular chapter, this particular question quiz belongs to this topic. Okay, so we can again ask schedule and save draft again. I'm just asking this question to the students. So friends, here you can see I have created, I installed, I uploaded some sort of material. I have provided some sort of assignments. I have provided some sort of question assignments to the students, and finally created some quiz. Okay, and we have different due date for all. Okay, so these are some of the most important things that I have done. I've created. Now you can create all these things for all the remaining chapters and all the other things. Okay, so these are some of the basic things that I have demonstrated you. So likewise, you can rearrange all those things. Likewise, you can upload your material whatever you wish as per your requirement. Now let's go on another topic, that is people. So here I can add some other colleagues. So here we have my colleague, that is Himanshu Patel. So I'm just inviting him for this class. Then I can invite some of the student, that is Nitin Joshi, Praveen Jadhav, then Jigar Hidani, then I have Vimal Patel, then I have some other colleagues. So I have just demonstrated how to add or how to invite some of your students. So suppose I have another email ID, that is drnilesmodi@gmail.com. Okay, so even we can invite any of the student, those who are not having their domain from their email ID from our domain. Okay, so we can invite any of the student from Yahoo or any other account. Suppose some of the student they are having Yahoo. Okay, so here we have dear Nilesh Modi. I have my own account on Yahoo. Okay, so we can use that particular Yahoo user. Okay, so that is I've created this thing and I've invited those students. Okay, so it is not allowing me to invite students from other domain. Okay, so that we can later on we can restrict or we can use it. Okay, so Right now, I'm just removing all those things, okay, for the demonstration purpose. So we have that feature, so we can invite later on. So we have some sort of action. Suppose I want to make some sort of email them, or I want to remove any of them. Okay, so I can do that. So I can select and I can remove, or I can invite them. Okay, so here you can see this invitation has been gone to yahoo.com, but as I might be logged in from some of the account, so that's the only reason why it has not sent any invitation. But yeah, we can invite any of the email ID. We can invite any of the people. Okay. So yeah, I am just accepting the invitation from my Yahoo ID from my mobile. So I'm just logging into from my account. Yeah, I got that invitation and yes. Okay. So I have accepted this invitation and now see over here. Okay. Yes, I chose another email ID. That's why it has not appeared, but it has come over here. Okay. So here I got that invitation and yes. Okay, fine. So it is available and I can join from any of the account. Okay. So that is one of the important thing that I have demonstrated to you. So just by adding the students, we can later on we can add their parents. Okay, for so that we can share some of the important things with their parents as well. So these are some of the important things that I would like to share it with you. Then grades. So the grades will not be available over here right now because none of our students have accepted the invitation. So we can configure the grades from the settings section. So here we have settings section. So we can change some sort of description over here. We have this class code for our students. We have stream. Okay, so we can make some sort of settings for the stream section. Okay, so student can post and comment, say yes or no, or we can change the settings. Students can only comment, only teachers can post and comment. So presently I'm just keeping the basic features available to you. Then uh, classwork on the stream. Okay, so show the attachment and details. So presently only condensed notification will be appear, but if I'll make show attachment and details, so all the attachments will be available in the stream section. So let's save, and I'm just demonstrating this thing. So here on the stream section, you can see here all these attachments are visible. Okay, so these are the attachments. Now all these attachments are visible, but if I'm just making it not visible, I'm just again going into settings and show attachments and details. Instead of that, only show condensed notifications. Okay, so I'm just saving it again. So here only notifications are available. No attachments are available right now. Okay, so fin again settings. So here we can make some sort of settings related to show deleted items. So whether what sort of things whether we have deleted. So whether we would like to show it. No, once it has been deleted, so it has been deleted. We don't want to show it to anybody. Then this is Google Meet link. So whether we want to make it visible to the students or not. So we can here we can make it visible for the students. Okay, and this is the link. We can copy it and we can even reset it. We can copy and we can circulate it to the students. Then grading. So presently how to calculate the grade. So overall grade calculation. So no overall grade calculation. We can get the things by top total points. So we can display that total points. Okay, and so overall grade to the students. Okay, so here if we want to show no overall grade. So if we want to make it so overall grade to the students, so we can make it. And finally the last point is weighted by category. So suppose we want to give some sort of category to the student, so we can make the things available to the students as per their category. Category means category of weightage. whether we have given some sort of assignment, have been given some separate category, means separate weightage and all. So I'm just saving it, okay, and I'm just going out of it. So friends, here I have, so this is what exactly I have done, that is due on Thursday. So some sort of notifications are available. So here we have quiz on Thursday, we have quiz assignment on Friday, we have assignment on Saturday. So whatever notifications are given or whatever due dates have been given, okay. So all these things are available over here. So student can go and check the things. So here, friends, you can see over here. So these are the to-do list. So all these to-do lists can be appeared from over here. So we can get all these to-do lists. So presently for that particular class it was appearing. So let's say I'm just selecting this class. So here you can show this. Okay, so to review and reviewed whatever we have reviewed. Now presently we have not reviewed anything. Then suppose I have reviewed for some other class. So I have not reviewed anything for other even other class. So here you can go and get the things done. So now I'm clicking the classes and I'm clicking this Android class. This is my class. Okay, so I have streamed something. Okay, so we can edit, we can copy the link, and we can move top up whatever we want to do as per the requirement. Okay, so friends, here we have stream, here we have classwork, here we have people, and we have grid. Okay, so we have configured all these things. Now let's move on to the another part, this part. So here, through by clicking on this, we can go on to the dashboard portion. So by clicking on this, so all the classes, so whatever class we have created, so all the classes will be available. So earlier I have created another class. Okay, so this class, the same type of class I've created for the other class. Okay, so classroom, we have people. So some of the people have accepted my invitation. So that has been shown over here. And the grades. See, over here, so some of the people, suppose I've graded. Okay, for some of the people I have not graded. Suppose I'm giving, let's say 7 out of 10. I'm giving 15 out of 20, and I'm giving let's say 14 out of 20. Okay, so all these things have been drafted and all these things have been saved. Suppose I want to make some sort of return or view the submission, we can get the we can view the submission. Presently, it is just a demonstrative purpose, so nobody has submitted any document, but it is just a representation purpose. Okay, so that student has not submitted any document. Okay, so he has not submitted any document, but I am just for the demonstration purpose. Okay, so suppose I want to return it, then we can return it. So I'm just returning it. Okay, so student will be notified and check any grade you have left. Okay, so once I've evaluated this document and I just want to return it, so I can return it, so that student can view his grading. And the assignment has been uploaded, the assignment has been reviewed. Okay, so here even I want to return to Jigar Virani, so I can return it. Yes, I want to return it. Okay, so friends, here by using this very features, important features, so here, see, I have just evaluated the things and I have written, not turned in. Okay, so they have been given some sort of grading. Okay, so sort by last name, sort by first name, overall grade, whether we have given overall grade, no, we have given separate grade, topic wise grade, so it is topic wise grade. Okay, so for this particular class, I have demonstrated things. So we have various classes. Okay, so now this particular feature. So we have calendar. So earlier for specific class, we were not having any schedule, but now recently I have configured one class. So we have some due dates on 28th, we have some due dates on 29th, and we have due dates on 30th. So what is the due date? That is assignment installing the Android Studio. We have question, write a short note on installing Android Studio, and we have assignment installing Android Studio. Okay, so these are the due dates for the students. Then that has been appeared into the calendar. Okay, now the other part is to-do list. So for this particular class, so what to do and what not to do. Okay, so here we have to-do list, and we can check the to-do list for all the classes. Okay, for all the classes, or we can check the to-do list for archived classes. So all these features are available. So once a class has been created, so we can get the things from the referential purpose as well. Friends, so these are the class. Suppose I don't want one of the class. Okay, so I'm just clicking that particular class. Okay, and I want to move it to the archive. So these are the classes, and I want to make this class to the archive. Okay, so here by clicking on this, I can make it to the archive, or I can move it to the another class. Okay, so here I'm just making this class to the archive. Okay, so I have made this class to the archive. So suppose I want to restore, I want to view that particular class again. So I can do that from archived classes. Okay, so here I made it from archived classes. So I can even restore that class, or I can delete that class. Yeah, suppose I don't want that particular class for future reference, so I can delete it. And finally, the settings. So here we have some sort of settings related to profile, some sort of settings related to notification, email notification, comments, classes you teach. Okay, so whatever notifications and relevant settings you want to make, so you can make it from this particular section. So friends, we have gone through different classes, how to create the class, how to configure it. Okay, so we have created this class, we have configured this class, we have added some sort of material, installed, we have uh, added some sort of assignments, quiz questions. Okay, we have added some people, we have added some sort of students, we have added some sort of grade mechanism. Okay, and we have gone through some sort of settings. Okay, so all these things we have carried out in this class. So let's again discuss through the presentation the our last topic. Okay, so friends, so I want to give you some important tips for the Google Classroom, and I want to request HRDC to give this document to the audience. So let's start with the Google Classroom getting started with. Okay, so I'm just clicking this particular document. So how to start with this document? The document is being opened. Okay, so this is document. Okay, so friends, here this particular document will demonstrate you how to start, how to configure the Google Classroom. So getting started with the Google Classroom. So some sort of screenshots have been given. We can start with classroom.google.com. Then we need to sign in. Then we need to create a class. We need to configure. So this is from the teacher's point of view. It is not from the student's point of view. The layout for the student is totally different. Okay, so we can do that in that particular manner. So here we have joined the class, create the class. We can create some sort of we can add the students. So this is the class code that we need to share it with the students. Then how to assign the grades and other thing. Okay, how to assign the grade work in the classroom. Then how to add the material. There are various other ways to add the material. How to assign the assignment to the students. Then here one of the most important thing, let's started to get work. So step, let student to get work. So how exactly students are working. Okay, and see, this is how students can upload their assignments and we can view their seats. Okay, this is how. So out of 15 students, 11 have done and 4 have not done. Okay, so their assignments have been uploaded over here right now. So whosoever had added, they have added. So here we can add the grade, and student submission are automatically organized. Okay, so friends, here we can do that. So student can view the file, students can edit the file and make a copy of that particular assignment. Even we can return the students and we can make some comments. Nice, here they have given nice job, Jennifer. Okay, so we have given the teacher has given 100 out of 100. Okay, so these are some of the important tips that how to create the class and how to use this. So I'm just sharing this document with you, and I request HRDC to share this document with you. Then some other tips, that is how to set up the classroom. Again, stay organized, create assignment, connect with the parents and peers. So here, by using this particular thing, we can connect with the peers, we can connect with the parents even. Okay, so that is one of the most important thing, we can share the things with our parents. So the next one is, okay, fine. Save time by flipping the learning with class. So suppose whenever we want to configure this class with our students, okay, so we can how to save the time. So that is one of the most important document over here. So save time by flipping the learning with classroom. So there are some of the important steps through which. So let's say create a classroom. Okay, if possible, use using tablet or mobile device via classroom app displayed on the screen. So here, see friends, here you can use this app. Okay, so this classroom app is available. Google Classroom. Yes, this is the classroom app that I've installed in my computer, my mobile. Okay, and I'm using. So whenever suppose you have some time, so you can parallelly you can use your mobile or tablet, and you can add some sort of things over here. So use Google Classroom to create an assignment. This allow video and other content to be added to an assignment from the device camera and to record a video. Suppose I am using my mobile and I want to create some sort of documents, I want to create some sort of lectures while I am free. Okay, so I can use my mobile. So that will save some time. So in assignment title, the assignment, so we need to give some sort of title as we have discussed earlier. If using the app, add an attachment and select to add a video. Okay, so what exactly you will need to do is use the video to record a simple introduction. Okay, so we can add some sort of introduction video for that particular topic. Okay, so that is one of the most important thing. Then we can have some sort of YouTube playlist. We can have some sort of YouTube playlist in the assignment. So just earlier we can created some sort of YouTube playlist, so that we can do it. So there are some of the important tips, and we have some extra tips. The form can be changed to the chat box to the younger learners. If the attendees are not on the classroom app, encourage them to try to submit a range of content such as recording video and all. So these are some of the important tips, and that will help you to create the class. Okay, so friends, these are some of the most important thing that I wanted to share with you while configuring the class, while configuring the Google Classroom. So with this, I'd like to conclude my session. Okay, so I can be reached on to any of the platform on my website, that is www.drnileshmodi.in. You can write any of your queries, any of your questions on nilesh@drnileshmodi.in, and I am available on social media platform, that is on Dr. Nilesh Modi, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and YouTube. So please be in touch, and thank you very much. Thank you very much for patiently listening to my points. So I am open for your question. So you can ask any question. So now it is over to you, Dr. Joshi. So if you want to convey anything, to the listener, to the participant, you can convey it. It's over to you, Dr. Joshi. Thank you. Okay, friends. So let's discuss some of the last slides that we had to discuss during our presentation. So I'm just sharing my screen again, and let's start with our presentation. Yeah. So friends, here are some of the tips that are important for configuring any of these Google Classroom. So let's begin with some of the Google Classroom getting started guides. Okay, friends. So here we have getting started with Google Classroom. So yeah, the step one is we can start with classroom.google.com. Then for that we need to sign into that particular account. So here some sort of account has been signed in. Then the next step is we need to start by creating a class. So that is the second topic. Then we need to give the name. Then we need to add some sort of students by email, or we can give them code. And so here they've given, so this is how exactly we can add the students by email ID, and we can give them code. We can share the classroom code, unique code to the students. Then step 4 is assigning the grade, how to assign and grade work in a classroom. So here we can create an assignment, and so these are some of the important things. So we can create question, we can create assignment, we can create some sort of announcement and all, and we can repost all those things. So here how to create assignment and how to assign those particular assignment to the students, those have been discussed. So then some sort of notification, what is the view to the students, so that has been given. Now here some of the important thing, let students get to work. So basically here some of the students have added their assignments. Okay, so here they've added their assignments, so we can add their grades over here, we can check the things, and finally we can return the assignment to the students. Once the evaluated assignment can be written to the students. So here step 9 is returning the assignment to the students. Okay, then here we can add the grade. So here they have given 100 out of 100, so that is grading the students. Then here the return work to one student, so basically we can mark some sort of comments over here. So these are some of the important things that we can do with the students grading and all. Okay, now let's again discuss the another important tips that is related to Google Classroom tip. Okay, so here we have some sort of important tips. So how to set up your classroom, how to stay organized while setting up a classroom, then how to create assignments, and how to connect with the parents and peers. So friends, we have discussed how to add students, and here we can add their parents and peers. Okay, so some of the important tips have been given over here. And the final point is save time by flipping the learning with classroom. So friends, here we can save while configuring the class, we can save our time, and we can create the classroom, we can configure the classroom by multiple devices, just like our mobile or some other devices, along with our laptops. So some of the important steps have been given. So create a classroom and allow the learners to join using join code, and if possible using the tablet or mobile device via classroom app. So we can create a classroom by using our mobile device. Then use a Google Classroom if possible on a mobile device or Android app. Enable the Chromebook via app. So that will help us. So this allows videos and other content to be added to an assignment from the device camera, and to record a video to add to the assignment. The other thing is some of the important point I'm just covering. If using the app, so add an attachment and select to add a video. So use the video to record a simple introduction to this experiment, so that we can do. And if you are not using the app, so here is a video. So we have some sort of video has been given. So to use the assignment, it was created and added the Google Drive as an alternative to creating it straight to the classroom. So we have different options that we have discussed. So we can add some sort of video into our YouTube playlist to the assignments. And there are various other things. There are some extra tips have been given. So the form can be changed to checkbox for younger learners. If the attendees are on the classroom app, encourage them to try to submit a range of content such as recording a video and all. Okay. So here we have some sort of extra tips. So I would request HRDC to share these documents with you, so that you can have it for future reference purpose. So friends, with this, I thank all of you for listening my conversation, my this discussion on means patiently. And you can reach me through my website, that is www.drnileshmodi.in, or you can connect me, or you can mail me nilesh@drnileshmodi.in, or you can connect me on my social media platform on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So I'm uploading various YouTube videos and lectures on my YouTube channel. So that is on Dr. Nilesh Modi. Okay. So friends, thank you very much, and thanks HRDC Professor Joshi for inviting me and patiently listening the conversation. So if you have any question, so you can right away ask me, or you can mail me the question. So now it's over to you, Professor Joshi, or the host. Thank you.
Friends, I have told you while introducing Professor Modi that he is an expert in the field, and he teaches in so simple words. He teaches using so simple examples that all of us can very easily understand the things. And I know that all of you have experienced this. Now, all of you are expert in Google Classroom. At least you can develop one class, one course for your students. Friends, this is not the end. This is the beginning of it. Sir would have taught you everything. When he talks to us, when he gives us examples, we feel that we learn everything. But then later on, what happens is we forget things if we don't practice. So now it is your time. You have to keep this video on in your mobile. While keeping that video on in mobile, you should keep your laptop or tab or whatever you would like to use and try to practice whatever steps Dr. Modi has told you. Do it repeatedly once, twice, or thrice. Try to add some of your friends, these peers with whom you have networked just now as your students, and try to collaborate with each other. Try to practice new things. Whenever any query, any question comes to you, again, you are already enrolled in the Google Classroom, which we are using, but there your role is of a student. In this Google Classroom, after learning this, your role will be of a teacher. But fine, we accept you still as students. So if you have any queries, any problems, anywhere if you get stuck, or if you feel like that you require our help, you can just post those queries in our Google Classroom. We will try our best to answer you. If it is required, we will invite Dr. Modi also to have a word with you and resolve your problems. So friends, this session is very interactive in a way that this will be very useful to you. I would like to thank Professor Dr. Nilesh Modi on behalf of all the participants for such an informative, such a practical, and such an interactive session. I would like to thank Professor Modi on behalf of UGC Human Resource Development Center of Gujarat University, on behalf of Gujarat University, and all those who are directly or indirectly involved in this short-term course on e-content development. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Joshi. Thanks for inviting me. Thanks all the participants for patiently listening me. Once again, thanks a lot.